district Christmas, right?
And I
In
can
an effort to save tax, oh, okay, alright, I see what you're saying.
yeah.
Explain. Okay,
This is striking that whole first sentence almost.
there, pass that down. There's it. So where are we, minutes as amended then, right?
You okay with approving them as amended?
That's good?
Yep, thank you.
Okay, any other comments, questions, changes? I'd like to change the motion to approve as amended.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Thank you, motion carries. Number 6 on our agenda, township warrants for approval for payment this evening in the amount of $29,762.16. Could I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Any questions, comments, or concerns here? Seeing none, could we have a roll call, Joan?
Karen Tinus,
Yes.
Tim Parrish,
Yes.
Rob Parrish,
Yes.
Justin Fronsky,
Yes.
Lee Jennings.
Yes, thank you, motion carries. Number 7 on our agenda is the road district warrants for approval for payment this evening in the amount of $89,997.99. Could I have a motion to approve? And a second.
I'll second.
Questions, comments, concerns here?
Make a motion that we withdraw from the consent agenda the payment to Chicago Trust for $10,000 for the land contract deal. Vote on that separately.
Okay, is there a,
Wait a second, please. You guys have to bear with me tonight, I'm sorry. How did we do that last night? You just made a motion on a motion.
Correct. Just to pull the one out and vote on individually.
so we're going to push it on to another agenda item, correct? Is that what you're looking to do?
Right.
Okay.
Which you would vote on that first, and then you would vote on the final consent.
Correct.
To Chicago Trust.
Okay, Rob has a motion on, a second for that?
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor of Rob's motion?
All right.
To separate?
I can't, that's not an aye. So, do we have like a discussion before we vote on this motion?
Yeah.
You
I
could,
understand
yes.
what it is, but
You're just saying whether or not we are gonna discuss it, that's all he says.
Right now, the motion is to separate it from the other
Okay.
bills.
all right.
Then there'd be another discussion, if you would, before we would vote on it. Was that a aye?
Yeah.
Okay. So, motion carries back to the original motion. That was ayes across the board, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So the original motion is to approve the amount that you said, less $10,000.
Less than that.
I believe so, I think he's almost there.
Okay.
Right. I'm just waiting for Joan. That's okay. And is there further before we vote on
On the other,
I had a couple.
no. What your questions are.
There's a lot of Menards bills in there.
Oh,
Studs and 60 sheets of OSB, and I'm wondering what he built.
Don't know for sure.
Okay.
Okay, so a roll call on the original motion.
It's minus Chicago. Karen Tinus,
yes.
Parrish,
Yes.
Yes.
Lee Jennings.
Yes. Now on to Rob's motion, for the $10,000 for Chicago, is it trust or title?
Sure.
Title.
Trust.
Chicago title.
Chicago title. So, the question is approval of that, so can I have a motion to approve the $10,000?
We have to do that and then we can have the discussion.
Yes.
So yes, I make a motion.
Okay, and then a second.
I'll second.
All
Okay,
right,
wait,
now,
wait, wait. And this is to approve that 10,000?
correct.
Okay. Okay.
So now we're open to discussion.
Don't you? Okay, I'm sorry. You're right. All right, the reason I brought it up is because I think this is another situation on accountability from the road commissioner being accountable to the taxpayers and to the board. We're in a situation in that the previous road commissioner, along with our current road commissioner, did things outside of scope and spec and standard for the county. And we're in a situation continue to build the sand, dirt, silo, or whatever Mike wants to build. We're still accountable to the county for, in arrears up to 2005 for all the non-pervious pavement that was covered up now, and there's no storm. Whether we continue down Mike's path or not, to the point that Mike was shopping around to get this piece of property over here, purchase it, trade it off to the Shine family, and that's the last we heard at the last meeting. Well, now, we have a land contract already now that we're accountable for $280,000 out of the road district budget in order to buy the piece of property over here off the Shine family, and this deal is completely off the table. None of that's been brought before us in a cost study, there's been nothing done as far as assessed value of the property and what it's worth. So we have seen nothing, we voted on nothing, but we're all accountable for it right now, $280,000 for this piece of property, and I don't think that's right. I think we were all put here to watch how the money's spent, because what has been happening up on top of the hill, it put us all in a situation that we're gonna spend over $300,000 in order to solve the problem from the administration prior and what Mike's done since he's been here, as far as what's happening up on top of that hill there. So, in good faith, going through until I see something like that, I'm going to tell you I'm going to vote no all the way through.
And
No
what if-
offense to the earnest money, to the purchasing, if it ever comes before us on the contract, I'm gonna vote no. Simply because I don't think the proper channels were going through in order for us to evaluate what's in the best interest of the township. I mean, this building and that building, and we've been here for a long time, we've never needed more property. And now we have to have more property according to the county from what has been done on.
Right, but that, so, sorry, sometimes I just have to.
That's, I'm more than open to
And I'm
discussion.
tired, so, but we know we have to do this.
Him applying for the permit in July, it exposed all the things that have been done.
True objection, then it's just that what we're paying for.
Yes.
I just wanna be clear.
Yes and yes.
Okay.
Yes, I think it should have been all brought before us, and it should have been a discussion, and if we're gonna take on that burden, outside of the current limits of what we already own. I mean, we own a lot of property here. Unfortunately, it all pitches down to that corner, you know, and that's the piece we don't own. But, you know, it's Topsel and it's Mike that, you know, developed property outside the parameters of, you know, proper permits and stuff like that got. I mean, to the backside of our buildings in order to store water runoff.
What is,
For every time that you change the pervious land.
five?
Right.
Was that a requirement at that time?
Maybe younger, out of school engineer at the county that handled this permit. Who handled previous thing. It's no different than like us changing the line item things or whatever. You know, there's the way that it is. We put fresh eyes to it, so you know what, there's this technicality that we haven't been following. Well, that technicality. But doing the stormwater for all of those old permits that the last guy was. Have you heard something
Before
different?
there was oversight, or looking beyond, it wasn't held accountable. I would say I agree with that, at each instance, but.
That's more or less what I got out of it as well.
Right, and I'm not saying we're not going forward with this, I'm just saying the way it was brought to me and the way it's been handled, you know, it's kind of a hidden secret of, you know, are we putting a building up, are we putting a silo up, are we looking for stormwater retention, are we taking this property and then giving it to the Shines in lieu of getting that property, or are we gonna buy this directly outright? I mean, that's all happened within.
There has been a change in,
I understand
in the
that,
process.
I understand that, but it was never been brought to us, and that's why I say that's when we run out of the ability for there to be accountability for the one person that runs all that money. And where does that money come from? I mean, we talked about a budget with, Mike, and Jim Kelly told us you can't touch it if he deems it life safety. Well, where did we come up with $280,000 that was supposedly life safety, and now it's to buy vacant parcels of land? So.
well, I did talk to our attorney.
Right.
You had mentioned to me earlier.
Right, I thought this would be something you'd have to go out for a referendum like you do with a school, if the school's gonna buy the next parcel of land.
Right, and in this instance, it's not
Okay.
required, according to Scott, and I trust that he knows what he's talking about there.
Right.
So, you know, I think it's not anyone's intention to pull the wool over our eyes. I think it's something that needs to be done for that. It would cost cleaning up
The situation, have to pay
or
twice
did
as
he?
much.
No,
But I don't know what land valuation is, it's not my profession, but the only reason I'm objecting to moving forward is because I don't think we've been in full knowledge of what's been happening all along. So. You with the vote, you know, and I'm just letting everybody know I can't just sit here and.
any further discussion before we go over that?
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of back up what he's saying. I'm not gonna say no, but I'm not gonna vote yes. I'm gonna abstain. A little bit of due diligence, transparency when he came out and said, "I just want to let you know what's happening, and we're gonna be in due diligence there." Somewhere in between, I think we're gonna around here. I mean, that 10,000 earnest money, is that gonna be out there in the wind, and that whole transaction's not gonna happen north of us here, or?
To my understanding, it's not.
Right,
At
now
this
it's
point,
to you,
Only-
trust
Unless-
877?
Yeah,
it's only,
877.
and then that's it. Like, that was my understanding, that it's not a three-way deal anymore, it's a two-way deal.
I don't know that we have informed the Lamars yet until this proceeds, is
I
probably not.
lost my negotiating privileges, so you have to ask my lovely wife or my brother.
I-
I just kinda like.
I don't know that we've informed them that we're not doing that in case that turns back,
And quite candidly, I have no idea either.
so.
But I just wish Mike would have called myself and maybe he called you guys, I don't know, but
Well, I called because I had questions on some other things, and then we just started to talk about, the meeting, but I have another question, in that, you know how his budget is his, but we approve his bills? I mean, is, under the current way the rules are written, does he have an obligation to come to us? I mean, did he do something wrong?
No.
just
So if
something-
we would like, I mean, I get, and you're right, I totally agree, that discussion, I don't know, can Mike call, he can call us individually.
Yes, he can, he's not a member of the board.
So, or send a group email, as long as we still
He
only
could meet with
respond
two of you.
one at a time. Oh, cause it's just not the board members.
Right.
Okay, but, I mean, if that's something, what if we wanted to change that as a board? Where maybe certain purchases, or certain, cause in the end, this is hundreds of thousands.
Right.
and affects our township for many, many years to come beyond us.
Well, I don't think he's borrowing any money to do this project, from what I was told, that a lot of the work would be done by the township guys,
Yeah, I expect all the work to be done in-house.
in-house. But I mean, so,
It's a $280,000 nut that we're
and then
dropping
is
out
that
there. It's
it?
like-
Is that all that this project will cost?
Well, other than, materials and time. I doubt that there'll be, maybe some engineering, of course. You're talking to the wrong guy though, so.
I just brought it up so that we got it off the table, just so that, because I think that can't just sit here and say, yes, go ahead. I mean, great for the shines, and, it's the only option we have to solve our problem with the county, and it's done, so. If you wanna call the question, I'm fine with that.
What's that?
If you wanna call the question or call the vote on
Well,
Item done.
we need to vote on
it, I understand.
it, so if there's no further discussion, can we have a roll call?
So then what,
Oh, sorry.
sorry, I know I
That's
have
okay.
one more question. So Rob, you want this table then until the next meeting, so that we can have
That's,
more information.
I'm giving you guys the opportunity to vote on it yourselves right now. I didn't ask to be tabled, I asked for it to be
Separate.
removed from the consent agenda to vote on individually.
what happens if the vote is no?
Then I would assume that it would be put back to us, or, that's one of those areas, I'm not sure if we can vote no and have it stand up. I think it would probably be paid anyway. That's more of a question for our attorney.
Is a full contract? I saw the escrow agreement, I just didn't read the whole thing. Is it,
I believe it's.
most of the time earnest money is
We don't know.
refundable,
Again,
if
I
a deal
don't-
doesn't go through.
I know
I did
that our
not.
attorney is,
Well, Justin, because aren't you? Earnest money, and then if for some.
Typically, and I think that would maybe where if we have approved the tension or deeper understanding of the deal before approving the
At this impervious
I think the time restriction is,
vote. Check.
yes.
funding of this.
Then I don't know that we can. The lesser
we say no, he might. Hammer.
Well, I'm, I would think that not the full. He's,
Deal's not done.
that,
My understanding. You could, I would encourage everyone to individually or as a group, call Mike and ask him about it. What we were trying.
three-party.
Piece of our property up there process. And this, I think,
Everybody should know about it. The reason in '74 we made a deal with that and Labar's. The first time I heard about the Labar deal was in the board meeting. In discussion, kind of modified our position as to, and the family fund, you know, I don't.
Well, if we're, and I'm guessing we would maybe save a little bit of money by not having to.
I would say that this to what that would have been. We're also not, so, and this is more.
Sent us, he had contracts prepared. It's okay, you guys got 150-foot easement, but it does get, because upon the initial, if I'm talking too much, tell me. You know, when he initially approached us, he offered us a 60. I did go to the county. I filed the corporate limits, and they would have a say. We kind of established we've got 150 feet, board meeting. Within a week, buying theirs, doing ours. Would you like to know what I said? No, as a taxpayer, $1 million for filed it away, and you know. That's when the family kind of changes. At times I tend to think tend to be more rational than emotional. Democracy, and
Yeah.
you know, the majority wanted to do the two-way deal. Talk to Mike. And should be allowed a little extra because why the number went up.
And it's just about a wash.
I just
Right, that's a lot that's happened since the last meeting. Evaluation of that property truly is what the valuation of this property know now is because he had what that parcel of land is like that.
There's a house on there.
Do I want Butch to get greedy?
50,000-60,000 per acre. Well, but this is not for it.
Not a cat.
Well, I
Right.
think you're
Which
looking
is-
at someone to say, I want a chunk of your land.
I understand that, I understand that, but that's why, I mean, I can call
I
the
mean,
question right now, and we'll just vote on it, it's
That-
done. I know you don't, I know you don't.
I believe or govern myself in the foot, but I still,
Because when Butch said he
you and I have talked plainly before, and I feel, I know this isn't public comment. You know, it's. I literally was had said half. But I, you know.
there's plenty of time to communicate with Mike on this. The earnest money, it's cut, there's certainly a lot of time. It's not a,
Call the vote.
Karen Tynes. Rob.
okay. All right, number 8 on our agenda is the approval of the township amended 2018-2019 budget that has been month. Can I have a motion? Okay, any questions, comments, concerns?
I'm sorry.
Okay. Joni, can we have a roll call?
Karen Tynes.
Yes.
Tim Parrish.
Nine is the review and approval of the road district transfer of appropriate. Could I have? Dollar amount. All right, thank you. 671-7064.
Tim Parrish.
Yes.
Lee Jennings.
Yes, thank you. On to number. I've got a few things, which is fix a valve on the urinal. I'll take care of that. Garbage. Waste management. Nothing substantial, making them sign to, really didn't apply anymore, so. Which is next Thursday. Special meeting, go over that.
The garbage what?
Pre-bid meeting.
th-
I would hope so,
And then those bids are gonna come in and they're due on the 21st.
correct.
And then
And we could have other bids from Advanced or,
They just didn't come to the pre-bid meeting.
right, exactly. It's
And
not a
then when
required
those,
meeting.
you were saying call a special meeting for what?
If,
You're just gonna award the lowest bid and then,
no, it's not necessarily lowest bid. What I'm gonna do is try and compile all these bids together into something that makes sense and basically anything else that they might have put in.
this the first time.
We will certainly have them here and at that meeting, and
Board meeting to review.
not low.
At a board meeting,
Let's say, for example, that waste management was safe and sane. Approve them. Time to get all their cards and everything. If we need to give, we're on a tight time. But yeah, you guys can have the bid packets, you can come in on Friday.
14th, February 21st.
Well, it gives us time, but if we want to be,
Look ahead.
right,
If you were to call a special, how many days notice?
or 40,
After we had we all went over it real quick and then the 14th, it's,
so
responsible there.
we could have a meeting, Rob, where we would, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, up for recommendation for the contract.
But what I'm saying is we could actually have. You don't know at this point.
Or
We can let them know that they can. Available to them.
I guess what I'm trying to get at is someone. Get the ball rolling. So
okay, so
I'll contact you all individually and see what.
Management is know which direction we're.
Family issues going on, so.
You know, if they're.
I'm more of a fan of calling a special meeting and doing it at a time, but isn't that when they come?
All the information.
done.
Friday the 20th. Spending our funds for this contract. It's a contract for the residents. You know, it's not the same.
That last one. That was your second comment.
Yes.
Okay.
of my. Be fair, we can put this request. Each one in. My next thing, we want to start thinking about a budget workshop. Yes. The dates at a later time, but a little bit more of a couple times. Would we all agree? That's night, but he just wanted. Lots of salt. We're not running out. The trucks are all in good condition. He's
Thanks to everybody. I thank Butch for his dedication to the township. I want to apologize on Valentine's Day, but I just, I had to express what I had to express.
Thank the Shine family as well. Selling the land that was available. Being honest and open, and from the other party involved in this.
It's good government.
I asked. And that's.
Is there any new business we need?
Wait a minute.
Oh, I'm sorry.
New state statute of attestation, treasurer.
We've gone to great. Anyone have any new business we need to speak of?
Thankful that, nice work.
Chunk? Thank you. Go in peace.
Did you watch
What the rest?
Saturday night?
Yes. Yeah, my doodles.
I don't know why I can't find mine in here.
Yeah.